Where do we start really with that press conference? I think first things first, changing rooms has emerged as a strange issue. From your point of view, what's the situation?
Situation is that it's the Stars change room, so it's the biggest change room by a mile. It's the
What are we talking here? Is it a big difference?
it's a big difference, yeah. It's the closest. It's closer to the ring walk, so there's less time for you to walk around. And the fact is that it's just it's a nice change room. So when you're left on the poster, when you're coming out second, and when you're being announced. It's been announced as Frampton-Quigg, and he's being announced second. You are the star of the show. So when the star of the show has the chance of a dressing room, we gave him the home corner, but it's not the home dressing room because it's not done like that. It's an arena that they have stars like Beyonce and people like that, and they get that dressing room. And that's the fact that they're used to having that dressing room, and I don't think it's fair. I don't even think it's fair for either of them to have that dressing room. I think go and give it to an undercard fighter and go and give it back to someone like that and lock it up, and none of them should take it. They should both take equal sized dressing rooms. They're both it's a 50-50 fight, and they should have equal dressing rooms.
Is this about an edge though, more than anything?
It's not about an edge. It's about it's about being professional and being and the fact is that their team is showing lack of class day in day out, and I think the fact is that it's a sign of disrespect on their behalf. We're trying to be reasonable, and they're not.
It was obviously asked up there, how does this get resolved, and it clearly wasn't resolved whatsoever. Now, seriously, is there a chance that this could hamper the fight at all? I mean, someone has to give here, don't they?
Of course, but no, nobody has to give. All they have to do is go, okay, we'll lock that dressing room, chuck the key away, and they both go in exactly the same dressing rooms, exactly the same size dressing rooms, and nobody has to use that dressing room. It's as simple as that. Use it for the media to go and lodge all their stuff in. It doesn't make a difference. Just use it, or use it for the ring card girls, whatever the case.
But they're clearly saying that's not happening. We're in there, so is there a chance?
Superstitious thing, and it's familiarity breeds contempt in that camp, and they're used to that. And it's not the fact that we're trying to ruffle their feathers. We just think it's not fair for you guys to have that much space to warm up in and move about in. So we're putting up it now.
Is there anything? Is there something that would make you allow it? When this sort of thing happens.
Absolutely not a chance. It's unfair.
Also up there, obviously you and Joe's relationship, or lack of it, has been one of the kind of side stories of this whole promotion. Now he's asked, does he respect you? He seems to be. How does that? Obviously you're a young trainer and you're learning as well.
It's very sad.
But seriously, I mean,
listen, it's an opinion, and the fact is that I've been involved in a lot of massive fights, and I've never once had a confrontation with a trainer. But he seems to be having these confrontations all the time. He fought when Rocky Fielding versus Callum Smith. He had this big dispute with Oliver Harrison. He's done it numerous times. He's constantly trying to make himself known, and I think it's just a lack of class and lack of respect from his side. But as I said up there, I think he'll have a bit of respect for me after the fight. But I'm never going to be his friend. He's a good coach, but he's a terrible person. And I think there are people in the boxing know that they know what he's like, and they know he's incredibly hard to deal with, and he's got a massive ego. But listen, it's just I don't ever want to talk about Joe Gallagher ever again after this bloody interview, because he's just the bane of my life.
The whole kind of promotion has been quite fractious. Maybe not between the fighters, but everyone else. Has it been not a test, but has it been a kind of a chance for you lot to kind of really show your composure? Because there has been a lot of niggling, but Carl and the rest of the team seem to stay composed. And how important has that been, for Outland?
The thing is okay, when we did the press tour, it's about selling the fight. It's about voicing your opinions and saying, do you know what, we think this, you thought that, we don't like you, and it's genuine. It's in there, it's in us. But we're 3 days away from the fight. We've got a game plan. We know what we're doing. After the fight, we can voice our opinion, but it's not the right place to be haggling at each other this close to a fight. I think it shows a lack of professionalism from their side and a lack of worry, and a big sign of worry, I should say, because when they're trying to get under somebody's skin this close to a fight means they're petrified and they're worried about what we're going to bring to the table. We're completely content with what Scott Quigg brings to the table, but he's not.
Another issue that's kind of cropped up this week is tickets and the suggestion that Carl's had to send tickets back.
It's the Cyclone Promotion had to give a few tickets back. We had a couple of undercard fights that did. I mean, for instance, one of our guys had to come off the show because of an injury. So, and we gave them tickets back. And the fact is that we didn't need to be worrying about that close to a fight. Give them back to the arena where that's the highest part of demand is everyone goes to the arena to try and buy the tickets. Give them back there, and we can continue doing the much more important stuff. But for instance, Scott Quigg gave back a lot of tickets as well. But we don't want to bring ourselves down once again to that level and go and talk about it. But they clearly do. They want to get under our skin, but it's not working.
On the subject of tickets, Carl's also mentioned that in fact he got one of his mates to ring up the chippy and get some tickets as well.
Yeah, it's actually a guy from my gym, a guy called Steve Broughton, and he rang up his chippy. I think it might have been his granny or something like that, and she answered the phone and it was hilarious. We're on the call. Can we get 10 £200 tickets or whatever? Because Cole couldn't get any more, and and what happened was, so Steve went, okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, we've got the tickets, and then he gave them the McGuigan's gym address, but he changed the name on it. So what's the name under? And he goes, Darren O'Neill. So it was hilarious because it was,
So he got the ticket.
An Irish, he put an Irish person's name down to the McGuigan's gym address, and they sent 10 £200 tickets down to us. Stupidity, but yeah, it's quite funny. But he got the tickets and he gave them to his mates.
Just a couple away from it, since we got you. Any news on David Hayes' opponent? Obviously, May the 21st is still quite a long way away, but when can we expect some news on that?
I think he's waiting, for the. I mean, obviously there was the big announcement last week with Charles Martin, and then there's obviously this fight, which is a huge fight, and after that he'll announce that. We've got a few people, so we've narrowed it down.
And George Groves, talk of April 9th, maybe even May. How is it kind of shaping up for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're just sitting and waiting, and looking at the options. Bit of a shame that Sturm beat Chudanov the other night. Chudanov would have been perfect, I believe, for George. Felix Sturm fights like once a year because he's a bit old. And he needs a lot of time to recover his body, so that's kind of put a damper on us with that route that we're going down. But there's plenty of other options, and I'm massive hopes for George. He's looking better and better in the gym. And the fact is that no matter what the case, we're in the gym every day. He was going to come up to Manchester, but he had a couple of speaking engagements he had to do this week. But he's constantly training, constantly developing himself, and it's just a connection that we're building between one another, and he's reaping the rewards from it and benefiting from it.
Do you expect him to be on the April 9th card in London? Is that still quite?
Possibility? Yeah, there's a possibility, but I'm sure all will be revealed soon, and he will. Whatever the case, he needs one or two more fights to get himself back into the world title mix. But I believe he can be a world champion before the end of the year.